Welcome students. Today we're going to start the column numericals. In the column theory, we have already learned the different type of columns, its applications, the Rankine hypothesis, safe load, buckling load, etc. etc. So now we are going to do some numeric. So let's start. So the first numerical says that a slender spin-ended aluminum column 1.8 meter long and of circular cross section. It's is to have an outside diameter of 50 mm. Calculate the necessary internal diameter to prevent failure by buckling if the actual load is applied 13.6 kilonewton and the critical load applied is twice the actual load. Take the E as 70 giganewton per meter square. Okay, so the internal dia of the so the we have to calculate the internal dia. Okay, and the outside dia of the column is 50 mm. So outside dia of the column it is 50 mm, which is given. That means 0.05 meter, and we are assuming the internal dia as small d. So the area, cross sectional area, is pi by 4 capital D square minus small d square. Similarly, the moment of inertia I is nothing but pi by 64 capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4, and the critical load is 2 into the safe load, which is given. So the critical load becomes 27.2 kilonewton. Now the end condition is pin ended, so the equivalent length is equals to the actual length. Okay, we have already learned this thing. The equivalent length is equals to the actual length, that is 1.8 meter. Now using the Euler's formula, okay, the Euler's load is equals to pi square EI by LE square. So that is this Euler's load is equals to the critical load. This Euler's load, this value is equals to the critical load. Okay, so that becomes 27.2 into 10 to the power 3 equals to pi into 70 into 10 to the power 9, because it is given that 70 giganewton per meter square into I, that is pi by 64 capital D to the power 4 by minus small d to the power 4 by equivalent length, that is 1.8 square. So by solving this equation we get the value of D, that is 0.0437 meter or 43.7 millimeter. Okay, this numerical says that a build-up beam shown in figure is simply supported at its end. Compute its length given that when it is subjected to load of 40 kilonewton per meter length, it deflects by 1 centimeter. Find the safe load if the beam is used as a column with both ends fixed. Assume the factor of safety of 4. Use Euler's formula. E equals to 210 giganewton per meter square. So first of all, this beam is in the first case, this beam is situated as a simply supported beam, and the load condition is UDL. Okay, UDL load is present on it. So the load is 40 kilonewton per meter. This is UDL. Okay, length of the beam is unknown. The moment of inertia about, this is the cross section of the beam. So the moment of inertia about x-axis, that is kind of this. Okay, which is passes from the CG. Okay, the moment of inertia of the x-axis, which is passes from the CG, that is Ixx equals to 1 by 12 30 into 113 cube minus 28 into 100 cube. So how this is comes? First, first of all, we have to move this wave into that direction. Okay, left side. Okay, so now by moving this wave into left, we get uh, two box. First of all, this is the first box. Okay, that we have get, and the second one, that is this. Okay, by moving the wave into left side, we get first one is this section, that is this C section. Okay, this is the section that we get, this one C section, and second thing is this area. Okay, this area that we get. So the dimension of this C area is 30 and height is 110. So in this moment of inertia equation, we are taking 1 by 12 b d cube. B is 30 and d is depth, that is 110 cube. Okay, minus moment of inertia of this section. Okay, this rectangular section, that is this area, this width is 28, because this portion is 30 and the width of the wave is 2 centimeter. So 30 minus 2, that is 28. Okay, and the height of this this rectangular portion, rectangular empty portion, is 100. So 28 into 100 cube. Okay, so b d cube. I am again explaining you. This is called wave, and this is the top flange. This one is the bottom flange. So now, first of all, we are going to move this wave into left side. Okay, by moving this wave into left side, we get a C section. This one is the I section. So by moving this wave into left, we get a C section. Okay, so the moment of inertia of this total box. Okay, this total box. Okay, what I am indicating right now, that is 30 into depth. Depth is 110. 5 plus 100 plus 5, 110 cube, minus the moment of inertia of this empty area. Okay, of this box, that is 30 minus this width is 2, because the width of the wave is 2. So 30 minus 2, that is 28. 28 into height of the wave, that is 100 cube. Okay, so the moment of inertia becomes 99.41 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter cube. Now the deflection relation. In the chapter beam deflection, we get the deflection of a simply supported beam carries UDL. The relation is delta equals to 5 into small w L to the power 4 by 384 EI. Delta is the deflection. Okay, delta is the vertical deflection. Okay, for an horizontal for an simply supported beam carries UDL. The deflection is delta, and The unit of W, small w, is this Newton per meter or kilonewton per meter, whatever. L is the length, E is the modulus of elasticity, and I is the moment of inertia. So by applying this formula and by substituting all these values, we get the value of L. Okay, the delta value is this, that is 1 centimeter, which is given in the question, 1 centimeter. So 0.01 equals to 5 into 40 kilonewton per meter, that means 40 into 10 to the power 3 into L to the power 4 by 384 into 210 giganewton per meter square, that is modulus of elasticity, which is given here in the question. So 210 into 10 to the power 9 into the moment of inertia is the moment of inertia that we get. So the value of the length of the simply supported beam is 14.15 meter. 14.15 meter. In the second section, we will going to use this simply supported beam as a column. Okay. So now, if that simply supported beam is used as a column with both ends fixed, the equivalent length, that is LE, becomes the actual length by 2. That means 7.07 meter. Okay. So by using Euler's formula, that is P Euler equals to pi square EI by LE square. But this I, this moment of inertia, will be the moment of inertia about YY axis passing through the CG. Okay. This moment of inertia, this moment of inertia is the moment of inertia about Y axis passing through the CG. Okay. So that becomes 2.25 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter to the power 4. So by substituting all these values, we get the Euler's load, or the critical load or creeping load, is 9330 kilonewton. Okay. So the safe load is Euler's load by factor of safety. Euler's load by factor of safety, because factor of safety is 4, which is given in the question. So that becomes 2332.5 kilonewton. Okay. This question is quite like the previous one. It says that a bar of length 4 meter, when used as a simply supported beam subjected to a UDL of 30 kilonewton per meter over the whole span, deflects 15 millimeter at the center. Find the creeping loads when it is used as a column with following end conditions, that is both end pin joint, one end fixed, other end hinged, and both end fixed. So first of all, the length of the beam is 4 meter, and the UDL, uniformly distributed load over the whole span, is 30 kilonewton per meter. The deflection is 15 mm, so 0.015 meter. Now the applying the deflection formula for simply supported beam carries UDL, which is delta equals to 5W L to the power 4 by 384 EI, and by substituting all these values, we get EI value, this EI, which is unknown. Okay, the EI value becomes 6.66 into 10 to the power 6 Newton meter square. This is the value of EI, because E value is not given and the material is not declared here, and the cross section, the dimension, cross sectional dimensions are also not given in the question. So we are calculating the EI value from this deflection equation, calculated the EI value from this deflection equation. Now first one, when the both end pin joint. Okay, so when the both end is pin joint, the equivalent length is equals to the actual length. So the by substituting all these values, that is pi square, EI value is 6.66 in 10 to the power 6 Newton meter square, this value, and the value of L, is 4 meter. So the creeping load for both end hinge joint is 4108 kilonewton. Okay. Now the second case, that is one end fixed and other end hinged. This one end fixed and other end hinged. So the equivalent length for this case is actual length by root 2. So that becomes 2.83 meter. So the creeping load or Euler's load becomes, this is the equivalent length. Creeping Euler's load becomes 8207 kilonewton. Okay. Now the third one. Third one is both end fixed. For both end fixed, the equivalent length is actual length by 2. So that becomes 2 meter. So the Euler's load is pi square EI by 2 square. So that is 16,432 kilonewton. Okay. In this numerical, is the next one. It says that a hollow cast iron column whose outside diameter is 200 millimeter has a thickness of 20 millimeter. It is 4.5 meter long and is fixed at both ends. Calculate the safe load by Rankine-Gordon formula using factor of safety of 4, and sigma C, compressible stress, is 550 meganewton per meter square, and small a is the buckling factor, that is 1 by 1600. Okay. So the outer dia is 200 mm, so that means 0.2 meter. Thickness is 20 mm. Now the internal dia, that is d minus 2t, so that becomes 0.16 meter, and length of the column is 4.5 meter. The factor of safety is 4. Cross sectional area, that is pi by 4, capital D to the power 2, or capital D square minus small d square. Okay, so that is 0.0113 meter square. 0.0113 meter square. The moment of inertia is pi by 64, capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4, that is 4.637 into 10 to the power minus 5 meter to the power 4. Now the radius of gyration, k square, radius of gyration square, so that is I by A, moment of inertia by cross sectional area, so that becomes 0.0041 meter square. Okay, and since its both end is fixed, so we can simply write the equivalent length is actual length by 2, so that is 2.25 meter. Okay. Now the using the Rankine relation, that is P Rankine equals to sigma C into cross sectional area by 1 plus small a into LE square by K square. So by substituting all these values, okay, we get the Rankine load is 3.51 meganewton. This is the Rankine load. Okay. Now the safe load. The safe load is Rankine load by factor of safety. We have to divide the Rankine load by factor of safety. So we get 0.877 meganewton. This is the safe load. The next numerical says that compare the creeping load given by Rankine's and Euler's formula for tabular strut 2.25 meter long, having outer and inner diameter 37.5 millimeter and 32.5 millimeter. Loaded through pin joint at both ends. Take yield stress as 315 meganewton per meter square. A, small a, equals to 1 by 7500 or 7500, and capital E equals to 200 giganewton per meter square. If the elastic limit for a material is taken as 200 meganewton per meter square, then for what length the strut does the Euler's formula cease to apply? Okay, so let's do the numerical. So the outer diameter of the strut is 37.5, inner so that becomes 0.0375 meter. The inner dia is 32.5 mm, so that is 0.0325 meter. Length is 2.25 meter. When the both end pin joint or hinge joint, so the equivalent length becomes the actual length, that is 2.25 meter. The yield stress, that is sigma c, is 315 meganewton per meter square. Small a is equals to 1 by 7500 or 7500. Capital E, the modulus of elasticity, is 200 giganewton per meter square. So now the first one, the Euler's creeping load, okay, that is P Euler. So the formula is P Euler equals to pi square EI by L square. So now by substituting all these values, that is E equals to 200 into 10 to the power 9, I is pi by 64, capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4. So that is 4.23 into 10 to the power minus 8, and equivalent length is 2.25 square. So the Euler's load is 16.493 kilonewton. Okay, this is the Euler's load. So let's see by using Rankine formula, the Rankine creeping load. So the Rankine formula is sigma c into capital A by 1 plus L E square by K square. K square is the radius of gyration, that is I by A, moment of inertia by area. So moment of inertia is same as the previous, pi by 64, capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4. Area is pi by 4, capital D square minus small d square. So K square becomes 1.539 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. So the Rankine's load, that is sigma c value, is 315 into 10 to the power 6 into area by 1 plus A, small a value is 1 by 7500 into L square by K square, this is the K square value. So the Rankine's load comes, that is 16.078 kilonewton. So the Euler's load by Rankine's load, the ratio becomes 1.026. Now in the question it is given that the elastic limit 200 meganewton per meter square. This is we are taking as written as Euler's stress. So we have to calculate this the length by using the Euler's load. So the Euler's load by area, this is the Euler's stress, that is 200 meganewton per meter square. So the Euler's load is pi square EI by L square into A, and the I is A into K square. So A cancel out. So pi square E K square by L E square. So the equivalent length becomes 1.5189 meter square. So for pin joint or hinge joint, the equivalent length is equals to the actual length, we know that, or so the equivalent length square is becomes 1.5189 meter square. So the equivalent length becomes 1.232 meter. Okay, so the equivalent length becomes 1.232 meter. This is the equivalent length, and for both end pin joint, the equivalent length is equals to the actual length. So equivalent length equals to actual length equals to 1.232 meter. Okay. This question is related to eccentric loading. It states that from the following data of a column of circular section, calculate the extreme stresses on the column section. Also find the maximum eccentricity in order that there may be no tension anywhere in the section. The external dia is 20, internal dia 16, length of the column is 4, the load carried by the column is 200 kilonewton, eccentricity of the load is 2.5 centimeter from the axis of the column, end condition is both end fixed, and Young's modulus is 94 giganewton per meter square. So let's see the area of the column. First one, area is pi by 4 capital D square minus small d square. Capital D is 20, small d is 16, so that becomes 113.1 centimeter square, or 113.1 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. Now the moment of inertia, that is pi by 64 capital D to the power 4 minus small d to the power 4, so that becomes 4637 into 10 to the power minus 8 meter to the power 4. 4637 into 10 to the power minus 8 meter to the power 4. Since the both end is fixed for this column, the equivalent length is equals to the actual length by 2, so that becomes 4 by 2, so that is 2 meter. The maximum bending moment M, capital M, equals to force into eccentric distance E, P into E into sec LE by 2 root over P by EI. Okay, so now we have to calculate this angle, that is LE by 2 into root over P by EI. This is the angle of this sec. Okay, this is the angle of this trigonometric function sec. Okay, so we have to calculate this value, LE by 2 into root over P by EI. Okay, so by substituting the value of LE, P and EI, we get, that is 0.2142 radian, 0.2142 radian, or 12.27 degree, or 12 degree 16 minute. So sec 12 degree 16 minute equals to 1.02. Okay, so now the maximum bending moment M max is equals to 200. This is the load. Eccentricity is 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2. This value is small e. Small e value is this, 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 2, and sec L by 2 root over P by EI, this value is 1.02. So the maximum bending moment becomes 5.1 kilonewton meter. Okay, so now the maximum compressive stress, that is P by A plus M by Z. Z is the section modulus. So Z equals to I by Y. I value is this 4637 into 10 to the power minus 8, which is already calculated. and y is 10 into 10 to the power minus 2, because the external dia of this cross sectional of this circular cross sectional beam is 20 centimeter. So y is the distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. So that distance is 10 centimeter. Okay, that means from center to the perimeter. From center to perimeter, this distance is 10 centimeter. Okay, so that is 10 into 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, so by substituting all these values, this is the value of z. By substituting all these values, we get sigma max as 28.7 mega Newton per meter square. Since there is no tension, the corresponding to the maximum eccentricity, so the expression becomes P by A equals to M by Z, where the tension is 0. So the P by A equals to M value is this bending moment, P into E sec LE by 2 root over P by EI by Z. So by substituting all these values, we get E, small e, becomes 40.2 millimeter. This is the answer of the second question, where it's asks that find the maximum eccentricity in order that there may be no tension anywhere in the on the section. And first question was that find the extreme stresses, that is the maximum stresses, that we have already find out in the previous slide. Okay, so this is the eccentricity value. This is the last numerical of the column section. It says that this figure shows a compound stanchion made up of two channel weighing 139 Newton per meter per channel and two 25 centimeter by 1 centimeter plates riveted one to each flange. Okay, if the maximum permissible stress is 70 meganewton per meter square, find the maximum eccentricity of a 300 kilonewton load from the YY axis of the column. The load line in the vertical plane through the XS axis, take E equals to 200 giganewton per meter square and effective length of the column being 3 meter. Okay, so as you can see in this figure, this is the x axis, this is the y axis. Okay, the two C channels are there with a 10 centimeter gap. This one is the top plate and this one is the bottom plate of thickness 1 centimeter. Okay, so the area of the section, that is 85.54 centimeter square, or 85.54 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square, and the moment of inertia about YY axis, which is passing through its CG, is 4492.3 into 10 to the power minus 8 meter to the power 4. The stresses due to direct load, this is 300 by the cross sectional area, so that becomes 35.07 meganewton per meter square. The maximum compressive stress is 70 meganewton per meter square, which is given. So the maximum bending stress sigma b is equals to the maximum compressive stress minus the direct stress, so that is 34.93 meganewton per meter square. Now the section modulus about YY axis. Now the section modulus about YY axis equals to ZYY is equals to the moment of inertia about the YY axis and by the distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis in x direction, that is 12.5, because the total distance is 25 centimeter. So if we get divided by 2, that is 12.5. So the section modulus about y axis is 35.9.4 meters centimeter cube. Okay, so that is 359.4 into 10 to the power minus 6. 359.4 10 to the power 359.4 centimeter cube is equals to 359.4 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube. Okay. Now the maximum bending moment. The value of the maximum bending moment is nothing but the bending stress, the maximum bending stress, this value, into the section modulus, this value. Okay, the maximum bending moment is the multiplication of these two value, that is 34.9 into 10 to the power 6 into 359.4 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 10 to the power minus 3 kilonewton meter. So that is 12.55 kilonewton meter. This is the value of maximum bending moment. This is the value of maximum bending moment, which is nothing but the value of the maximum bending stress into the section modulus. Maximum bending stress is the maximum bending stress into the section modulus is the maximum bending moment value. Okay, and we know that from the eccentricity equation, the maximum bending moment is equals to the load P into E, the eccentric distance, into sec LE equivalent length by 2 into root over P by EI. So now we have to find out the value of LE by 2 into root over P by EI. So the value becomes L value is 3, the effective length, by 2 into P is 300 into 10 to the power 3, E is 200 into 10 to the power 9, into I is 4492.3 into 10 to the power minus 8, that is 0.274 radian or 15.7 degree. So sec LE by 2 into root over P by EI, that is sec 15.2, 15.7, sec 15.7 degree is 1.038. Okay, so now the maximum bending moment is P into E into 1.038, this value. Okay, so that becomes 12.55, and the value of P is already known to us. So the E value, small e, the eccentric distance, is 40.3 millimeter. So this is the answer, is the value of eccentric distance. Okay, thank you.